Well, joining us from Washington, D.C. is Kaley Stonelake. She is a Meta whistleblower who was working there as the Director of Product Marketing. She is also part of the Advisory Council of the Parents Rise campaign. Thank you so much for being with us here on Al Jazeera, Kaley. First of all, like I mentioned, you worked inside Meta. So when you heard this jury found them liable for harming a young user, what went through your mind and how significant is this outcome?
Thank you so much for having me tonight. When I heard the verdict, I was brought to tears because on one hand, it validates what I experienced firsthand inside the company, seeing that executives know that their products are harming kids and are unwilling to do anything about it. But even more so thinking about the survivor parents who have really led this movement, who have showed up every day for weeks to this trial in Los Angeles, who have the opportunity to see justice be served in a way that we haven't seen in years.
The jury specifically called out features like infinite scroll and algorithmic recommendations as addictive by design. So from your time inside Meta, how intentional were those design choices and how widespread was the knowledge that they could potentially cause harm?
Well, my understanding while I worked there until I saw it firsthand was, of course, that the company wanted to maximize engagement. But I never imagined that that was without regard for the health and well-being of the people that use the product, including the most vulnerable. And we have had, at this point, years of evidence, and we're seeing in this case a mountain of unsealed evidence that proves that folks within these companies knew that the products were harming kids, that they were designed to addict, and there was not regard for the consequence of it. For me specifically, when I was working on Horizon Worlds, which is the virtual reality software inside the Oculus headset, we knew that there were kids in harm's way, specifically for predation and data collection. And the primary concern of my fellow leadership team was to avoid taking notes or creating any discoverable record of our knowledge of that.
The companies say they're going to appeal, saying that teen mental health is profoundly complex and cannot be linked to a single app. What do you make of that argument?
Well, of course, they're going to appeal. They're really skilled at the theater of performing care. We see time and time again when the heat is on, they launch kind of too little, too late parental control features or safety features that are also proven to not work as described. But it's pretty hard for them to defend the notion that this is on anything but their choices when evidence from within the companies is showing that the products were designed specifically to keep kids on, to utilize mechanisms like casinos use, using words like addiction, saying that we're pushers, that we're basically dealing drugs. This is now, the public gets to see, thanks to this trial, what I experienced, which is that gap between the public statements and what's actually happening within these organizations.
Do you think this could be a turning point within these companies, that they're going to realise, what the judge outlined, that they do cause harm and they have been negligent by design? Do you think they're going to change?
I don't think that this single moment is going to lead to a huge amount of change, because that would threaten the kind of mental model and cognitive dissonance by which companies like this are able to keep really good people working on such harmful products. But I do think it's definitely the beginning of the end. And what I really hope happens is that advertisers in the media industry starts recognizing that while they've been worried for years about brand safety, like, is my ad going to show up next to a harmful piece of content, this case has established that this is not about content. This is about a harmful system that is designed to cause harm to the most vulnerable people that use those products, and to recognize that it's not about, is your brand showing up next to a harmful piece of content? The question that advertisers need to start asking themselves is should I be a part of a harmful system?
Okay. Kaley, thank you so much. We're going to have to leave it there, but we really do appreciate your time. Kaley Stonelake for us out of Washington, D.C.